and Xander Zayas. And the fight right now, from what I see, the most popular fighter between the two fighters, in Fundora and Xander Zayas. Xander Zayas has 250,000 followers on his Instagram. And Sebastian Fundora has 76,000 followers. So the more popular fighter is Xander Zayas, but the more accomplished fighter is Fundora. But I believe um, these two fighters, when they get in the ring, is going to be an interesting matchup because we're talking about the tallest boxer in boxing, in Sebastian Fundora, which he's 6'6", and he has boxing ability. He also has power, and he has one punch power. I think he does. And in his last fight, he looked very impressive. But he also beat Tim Tszyu to get the championship, and he just defended the belt for the first time this past Saturday, and he looked very impressive. Sebastian Fundora, how you doing, my brother? Yeah, God bless you too. I appreciate subscribe to my channel and spread the word around about my channel. I appreciate it. And yes, what do you think about the Fundora versus Xander Zayas fight? They are supposedly making that fight on June 21st, if I'm not mistaken. I truly believe it's a very competitive fight, and I feel like the best way for Xander Zayas to beat Fundora is to box him in the pocket. What I mean by that, to use his boxing ability, and since Fundora has a long reach, to kind of smother him on the inside and throw combinations with a great high guard defense, but at the same time throw the jab and keep one arm up to protect himself from any counters that Fundora may have, because Fundora has a long reach, and when you have a long reach like that and you have power like the way Fundora has, he has to fight in the pocket where at a reasonable distance where he can actually time Fundora's counters and combinations. And I believe that the better boxer in this fight is possibly Xander Zayas. He's very serious. Stop. I am subscribing, and I tell my people to. I am Puerto Rican from New York City. Yeah, New York. I'm from New York too. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Marble Projects. Oh, I appreciate you for tuning in, Luis Torres. Yeah, no doubt. Thanks for subscribing, and let everybody know and spread the word around. Tony also knows boxing. Subscribe to my channel. Yeah, so Fundora versus Xander Zayas is supposed to be happening June 21st. I didn't get an official date, but that's what I read. That's the last thing I looked up. And if you see my profile for the actual YouTube content that I just put up between Xander Zayas and Fundora, the WBO and the WBC is making they're making the Xander Zayas versus Fundora fight, and it's for two belts that they will fight for, and that's pretty dope. I think that's good that Xander Zayas gets an opportunity to fight a live dog, an elite champion like Sebastian Fundora, and they're gonna promote it as the Puerto Rico versus Mexico. Even though Fundora is half Mexican, half Cuban, but and that's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a good fight. I feel Subriel Matias is ranked number one, but unfortunately, the politics of boxing, Cambosos seems like he's gonna get the fight. Nah. A lot of people say if I was a boxer. I'm actually a musician. I sing. I wanted to be a boxer when I grew up in Brooklyn. That's 3P asking me, or if I'm a boxer too. No, but I know how to box a little. I fought in the streets of Brooklyn, and I survived a lot of stuff. I don't want to get into that. But yeah, I actually wanted to be a boxer, but I chose to do music instead. I sing and I rap. In the projects, I would rap in cipher battles, and then eventually I would get into singing. I hid my singing talent in the projects because where I grew up, I didn't want people to think that that things were sweet with me, because that's just the way my approach was. In the projects, I got into hip hop first, and then I hid my singing ability, and then I developed it later. I got music on all major platforms: Spotify, Pandora, Tony. Also, you can check out my music on all major platforms. But this is a boxing channel, so um, Subriel Matias is ranked number one for in the IBF for the IBF championship. Um, yeah, that's the reason why I didn't pursue it any further. I got my son involved in it. One of them got into it, and then he didn't really pursue it all the way. But yeah, that's the reason why I didn't pursue boxing because I didn't get the opportunities as easy. So I felt like it's better if I just do the music because I was developing a strong passion for music since I was little. So it just evolved faster as far as the music, everything get worked faster. But yeah. So anyway, back to boxing. Subriel Matias, thanks for tuning in. By the way, subscribe to my channel, click that like button. Tony also knows boxing. Yeah, Subriel Matias is ranked number one in the IBF, and Eddie Hearn's plan is to get Hitchinson to fight Cambosos instead of fighting Subriel Matias. And it's crazy because uh, Cambosos fought for the first time at the 140-pound division in his last fight against Jake Wiley, and he didn't look good. He wasn't impressive, and it was his first fight at 140, and he's ranked number 3 at 140. That makes no sense. And boxing is a popularity contest, and that's the love and hate relationship. Yeah, so he's trying to make Eddie Hearns is trying to make and Richard Hitchinson. And I believe that the best fight to make, and the one who really deserves the title shot is Subriel Matias because he's ranked number one. He's already proven it. And I just feel like, yeah, I got Spotify. Yeah, so I feel like, yeah, check out my music on Spotify. Unite the Tribes. Check out Unite the Tribes. It's a hip hop song. Yeah, check out that one. I'm Boricua. I'm Puerto Rican. I don't want to talk about country, and then yeah, I want to talk about boxing because people ask me where I'm from. Yeah, so you can check out my music on Spotify and Pandora, YouTube, all major platforms. You can actually download it on iTunes as well. I got political stuff, and I also sing. I talk about real stuff, and I sing. I sing R&B, salsa, Latin, everything. Eddie, he wants to keep the IBF title in Matchroom. He knows Hitchinson is scared of Matias, of course. He's not built for Matias, and he knows it. And I feel like it's a disgrace that they're making fights like this with Cambosos versus Hitchinson. They're just recycling the same fighters that are popular, like Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero, all these clowns that they keep recycling where the money is. And just because they're popular, they keep recycling them. But I feel like Subriel Matias is not with the big machine. He's with the smaller machine, and then the fighters that are coming up like him, that are not with a real known promotional banner. They have to struggle more, and I feel like they blackball people like that. It's like you got to be with the club. You got to be down with the club. Yeah. All right. What's the question? Yeah. Subscribe to my channel. 3P. You have a question. Keep it positive. Keep it positive. Subscribe to my channel. Tony also knows boxing. So Richard Hitchinson has a voluntary defense because he just won the title. And when you just win the title, they give you a voluntary title defense, and then they have 10 months to actually fight the mandatory. So after Richard Hitchinson's, which he definitely is going to choose the voluntary defense. After he chooses his voluntary defense with Cambosos, then they're going to try to make the mandatory with Subriel Matias, but he'll probably vacate the titles, and he'll probably try to fight another champion before that happens because he's avoiding Subriel Matias, and I feel like Richard, I'd say Hearns is actually not trying to make that fight because he's trying to keep the IBF belt in-house for him. He don't want another company to have it, and it's a competition. The companies that's bigger are going to choose the fights that they know that they can capitalize and win. But Eddie Hearns knows that a fight with Subriel Matias is risky. It's very risky. That's why he doesn't want to put Richardson Hitchinson against Subriel Matias. So Richard Hitchinson's going to choose the voluntary defense. And then after that, there's going to go to purse bids, to make the mandatory fight. And that's where the conflict and the politics comes in, where You know, they he probably vacate the title. Or he'll try to have to. He'll probably Subriel Matias will have to fight one of the other champions or fight the winner between Edwin Rodriguez and the other fighter. He's undefeated. I forgot his name. It's just a lot of politics and boxing. Subscribe to my channel. That's the love and hate and relationship I have with boxing. Subscribe to Tony Also Knows Boxing. Subscribe to my channel. Click that like button. Who do you think will win between Fundora versus Xander Zayas? I think Xander Zayas has what it takes to beat him, but there's people like in this Puerto Rican channel that were saying that it's 55-45 Fundora, meaning 55% chance Fundora wins and 45% chance that Xander Zayas wins. I feel like Xander Zayas has all the tools to beat a fighter like Sebastian Fundora. Is a very compelling fight, and you know it's just that long reach. He has to fight within a certain distance to dominate him boxing wise and use his boxing skills. But yeah, subscribe to Tony Also Knows Boxing. Subscribe to my channel, Tony Also Knows Boxing. I gotta go. I'll subscribe button.